Cik yang datang. Satu, dua, tiga, cik. Cik, cik. Satu, dua, tiga,
Chief
cik.
Justices,
Satu, dua, tiga.
judges, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good afternoon to all. Welcome to the ceremony in honor of the appointment of the Right Honourable, the Chief Justice of Malaysia. The Malaysian judiciary would like to take this opportunity to extend our deepest appreciation and heartfelt thanks to the former Chief Justices of Malaysia, Yang Amat Berbahagia Tun Zaki Tun Azmi and Yang Amat Berbahagia Tun Raus Sharif for graciously taking the time to be present with us today. The Malaysian judiciary also wishes to extend our highest appreciation to the Honourable Chief Justices and esteemed members of the judiciary from abroad who are joining us virtually. The Honourable Justice Haji Abdullah Sofri Abidin, Acting Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Brunei Darussalam, Justice Muhammad Faisal Kifli, Judicial Commissioner of the Supreme Court of Brunei Darussalam, the Honourable Professor Dr. Sunarto SHMH, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the Republic of Indonesia, the Honourable Yu Ta Thei, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the Union of Myanmar, the Honourable Justice Ahmad Al-Said Al-Mansuri, Deputy President of the Supreme Court Judiciary Council and President of the Court of Cassation of the State of Qatar, and the Honourable Kadir Özkaya, the President of the Constitutional Court of Turkey. Your presence and support are deeply valued. Honourable Chief Justices, Honourable Judges, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Before we commence today's auspicious event, kindly allow me to make a few announcements. This event is being live streamed on social media platforms via Facebook and YouTube under the official page and channel of Badan Kehakiman Malaysia. We kindly request all attendees to switch their mobile phones to silent mode throughout the event. On behalf of the Secretariat, we would like to express our profound gratitude for your kind cooperation. Thank you. The proceedings will now commence. I would like to call upon Tuan Ahmad Ashraf bin Muhammad Kamal to lead the recitation of Doa.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. O Allah, the source of all wisdom, justice and truth, we gather before you today in humility and gratitude to witness and honor the appointment of our new Chief Justice. We thank you for this significant occasion and for the sacred responsibility entrusted to our Chief Justice. We pray that you endow the Right Honourable the Chief Justice of Malaysia with clarity of thought, sound judgment, and a deep-rooted sense of justice. May he carry out his duties with unwavering integrity, impartiality, and an abiding respect for the rule of law. Grant him the strength to uphold the Constitution, to safeguard the rights of every citizen, and to pursue truth and fairness in all circumstances. May he stand firm in the face of challenge, guided always by principle, courage, and wisdom. Let his leadership be a beacon of assurance for the people, nurturing trust in our judiciary and fostering a national spirit grounded in respect for justice. Finally, we ask for your continued blessings upon him, upon his family, and upon all who serve in the administration of justice. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you, Tuan Ahmad Ashraf. Honourable Chief Justices, Honourable Judges, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure I would like to announce that His Majesty, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, acting on the advice of the Right Honourable Prime Minister and after consulting the Conference of Rulers, pursuant to Article 122B, Clause 1 of the Federal Constitution, has appointed the Right Honourable Dato' Wan Ahmad Farid bin Wan SALLEH as the Chief Justice of Malaysia with effect from 28 July 2025. I now have the pleasure to invite the Honourable, the President of the Malaysian Bar, Dato' Muhammad Ezri bin Abdul Wahab, to deliver his speech.
Yang Amat Arif, Ketua Hakim Negara, Yang Amat Berbahagia, Mantan-mantan Ketua Hakim Negara, Yang Amat Harif, Hakim Besar Malaya, Yang Amat Arif, Hakim Besar Sabah dan Sarawak, Yang Arif, Hakim-Hakim Mahkamah Persekutuan, Mahkamah Rayuan, Mahkamah Tinggi, Dev-Dev Kehormat, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang dihormati sekalian. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera dan salam hormat. Saya mewakili Badan Peguam Malaysia mengucapkan setinggi-tinggi tahniah kepada Yang Amat Arif Dato' Wan Ahmad Farid Wan SALLEH atas pelantikan sebagai Ketua Hakim Negara. Kami turut mengucapkan tahniah kepada Yang Amat Arif Dato' Abu Bakar Jais atas pelantikan sebagai Presiden Mahkamah Rayuan dan Yang Amat Arif Dato' Azizah Nawawi sebagai Hakim Besar Sabah dan Sarawak. Majlis pada hari ini bukan sekadar meraihkan pelantikan tokoh penting dalam institusi kehakiman negara, tetapi juga mencerminkan kepercayaan masyarakat terhadap sistem keadilan dan yang diberi amanah untuk menerajuinya. Yang Amat Arif, Dev-Dev Kehormat, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, Badan Kehakiman berperanan sebagai pelindung kepada perlembagaan persekutuan dan pelindung kepada hak-hak asasi setiap rakyat. Dalam apa jua keadaan, apabila timbul persoalan keadilan, pihak yang menjadi harapan terakhir rakyat ialah institusi kehakiman. Ia adalah tempat di mana kebenaran dicari, undang-undang ditafsirkan dan hak-hak dipertahankan. Hakim yang adil, bebas dan berintegriti bukan sahaja menjamin keadilan untuk individu dalam sesuatu kes, tetapi turut membentuk asas kestabilan dalam masyarakat. Tanpa sistem kehakiman yang berwibawa, demokrasi akan lemah. Kepercayaan awam akan terhakis dan negara akan terdedah kepada penyalahgunaan kuasa. Kebebasan badan kehakiman adalah asas kepada keadilan. Ia adalah prinsip yang bukan sahaja mesti dihormati oleh kerajaan, tetapi juga oleh masyarakat secara keseluruhan. Sebuah badan kehakiman yang bebas menjamin bahawa semua individu tanpa mengira latar belakang, kuasa atau kekayaan adalah sama rata di sisi undang-undang. Ketua Hakim Negara memainkan peranan yang amat penting, bukan sahaja dalam menguruskan pentadbiran kehakiman, tetapi juga dalam menetapkan nada, arah dan budaya integriti dalam institusi ini. Dalam zaman di mana pelbagai bentuk tekanan politik, ekonomi dan sosial mencabar asas demokrasi dan kedaulatan undang-undang, kepimpinan yang berani dan berprinsip adalah kunci utama kepada kelangsungan sebuah sistem kehakiman yang dihormati. Badan Peguam Malaysia percaya bahawa masa depan sistem kehakiman kita terletak kepada usaha berterusan untuk memastikan akses kepada keadilan yang saksama untuk semua. Kita perlu memastikan bahawa rakyat, terutamanya golongan terpinggir atau kurang upaya, tidak terhalang daripada mendapatkan perlindungan undang-undang yang sewajarnya. Badan Peguam Malaysia yang tidak memihak maupun bersifat politik akan terus menerajui mempertahankan kedaulatan undang-undang dan kebebasan kehakiman. Yang Amat Arif, Div-Div kehormat, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan. Hari ini adalah hari yang penuh makna. Ia merupakan titik permulaan baharu untuk satu era kepimpinan kehakiman yang akan terus diuji oleh pelbagai cabaran. Namun kami percaya bahawa dengan kebijaksanaan, ketegasan dan integriti yang dimiliki oleh Yang Amat Arif Ketua Hakim Negara, institusi kehakiman negara akan terus gah berdiri. Tidak goyah ditiup angin dan tidak dihanyut ombak. Tegak menanti di tengah laman, tidak bergoyang dipukul badai. Tidak menanti, tidak berteman. Tidak terbeli, tidak tergadai. Akhir kata, sekali lagi kami mengucapkan setinggi-tinggi tahniah kepada Yang Amat Arif Ketua Hakim Negara. Sekian, terima kasih. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Dato'. May I now call upon the President of the Sabah Law Society, Dato' Muhammad Nazim Madwarin, to deliver his speech.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. May it please my Lord, the Right Honourable Chief Justice of Malaysia, Datuk Wan Ahmad Farid bin Wan Saleh, the Right Honourable Chief Judge of Malaya, Tan Sri Hasnah bin Datuk Muhammad Hashim, the Right Honourable Chief Judge of Sabah and Sarawak, Datuk Hajah Azizah binti Haji Nawawi, the former Chief Justices of Malaysia, Yang Amat Berbahagia Tun Zaki Tun Azmi, Yang Amat Berbahagia Tun Raus bin Sharif, the Honourable Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tan Sri Datuk Dr. Johari bin Abdul, the Honourable Attorney General of Malaysia, the State Attorney General of Sabah and the State Attorney General of Sarawak, the Honourable Judges of the Federal Court, the Court of Appeal, the High Court and Judicial Commissioners, members of the Judicial Appointments Commission, the Chief Registrar of the Federal Court, Yang Berbahagia Datuk Zamri bin Haji Bakar, the Secretary of the Judicial Appointments Commission, Yang Berusaha Puan Salinah binti Ismail, Presidents of the Malaysian Bar and the Advocates Association of Sarawak, Your Excellencies, the Honourable Chief Justices and distinguished members of the judiciary from abroad who are joining us virtually. Assalamualaikum. Salam sejahtera and warm greetings from Sabah and the members of the Sabah Law Society. My Lord, today is not just a ceremony. It is a moment that carries the weight of continuity and expectation. We gather to honor the appointment of the Right Honourable Datuk Wan Ahmad Farid bin Wan Saleh as the new Chief Justice of Malaysia. On behalf of the Sabah Law Society, I extend our warmest congratulations. My Lord, justice is not only about what is decided, it's also about how decisions are arrived at. In recent months, we have seen the judiciary come under sharp public focus, particularly on the processes surrounding key appointments. My Lords, now that the dust has settled, the public continue to watch closely. Rather than retreat from scrutiny, we, in the legal community, must meet it with transparency, confidence, and clarity of purpose. These recent appointments have reminded us that the cost to judicial leadership cannot be predicted or speculated. It must remain open, based on merit, trust, and integrity. We don't expect miracles, but we do hope for three things: fairness in principle, firmness in principle, fairness in process, and fearlessness in leadership. My Lord, as a bar, the Sabah Law Society, we will do our part. We will speak up when silence becomes dangerous, and we will support where support is deserved. This new era brings with it heavier burdens. The shift away from mandatory sentencing in capital cases is a profound one. It places greater discretion in the hands of the judges, calling not only for legal wisdom, but for depth, care, and courage. In this regard, we may reflect on the timeless principles conveyed in a letter by Umar ibn al-Khattab to Abu Musa al-Ash'ari upon the latter's judicial appointment. That letter stands as one of the earliest surviving articulations of judicial ethics in recorded governance, emphasizing equality before the law, intellectual humility, and the primacy of truth. It's one of the oldest instances of a ruler providing specific guidance on judicial conduct and principles to a judge. Among the points he laid down are: judging is a confirmed obligation and a noble path. Understand fully when cases are presented, for justice cannot be served without comprehension. Treat people equally when you address them, so no noble person expects undue advantage, and no weak person fears being unheard. He also wrote, if you issued a judgment yesterday, but upon reflection are guided to a different conclusion, then return to the truth, for truth is eternal, and returning to it is better than persisting in falsehood. Further, he also laid down, judgment must be based on evidence and oaths. If something is not found in the text, draw analogies and reflect on what is closer to justice and fairness. These principles remain relevant across time, jurisdictions, and culture. They reflect a view of justice that is firm, thoughtful, and always open to correction. As encapsulated in another of Umar's reflections, when justice is dispensed fairly, it protects the weak and warns the powerful, both equally bound by its weight. My Lord, the judiciary must remain impartial, yet grounded in the realities that people face every day. The Sabah Law Society stands ready to walk alongside, supportive where support is deserved, and steadfast in our duty to speak when necessary. My Lords, I would also like to record our sincere appreciation to the court for the opportunity to deliver a speech on this historic occasion. This reflects a greater truth. Malaysia is a union of three distinct regions: Peninsular Malaysia, Sabah, and Sarawak, each with its own independent bar. This recognition can be seen in the recent 2022 constitutional amendments, which formally restored Sabah and Sarawak as equal partners within the Federation alongside Malaya. That national recognition has also begun to take root beyond our shores. If I may share, my Lord, on 23rd July 2025, the Sabah Law Society and the Advocates Association of Sarawak attended and participated in the ASEAN Bar Leaders Summit, which was jointly organized by the Malaysian Bar Council and the Law Society of Singapore in Kuala Lumpur, where we were formally welcomed and recognized as part of ASEAN Bar community. In 2027, inshallah, the ASEAN Bar Leaders Summit will be hosted in Sabah, a milestone that reflects not only how far we have come, but how far we can go when inclusion is embraced and partnerships are respected. For many of us in East Malaysia, this recognition has been a long time coming. And yet, what gives us hope is the sense that something is beginning to shift. That inclusion is no longer aspirational, but operational. The change is not promised, but already quietly arriving. We hope today's example of inclusive acknowledgement will extend to all departments, ministries, and agencies
when engaging with the Bar in all three regions. Finally, my Lord, we wish you strength, discernment, and a steady hand. And to all present, may we continue to uphold the justice our people deserve. Thank you, my Lord.
Thank you, Dato. Now, I would like to invite the President of the Advocates Association of Sarawak, Mr. Gurveer Singh Sandhu, to deliver his speech.
My lords and my ladies. The Right Honourable Chief Justice of Malaysia, Dato' Wan Ahmad Farid bin Wan Saleh, the Right Honourable Chief Judge of Malaya, Tan Sri Hasna binti Dato' Muhammad Hashim, the Right Honourable Chief Judge of Sabah and Sarawak, Dato' Haja Aziza binti Haji Nawawi, the former Chief Justices of Malaysia, Yang Amat Berbahagia Tun Zaki Tun Azmi and Yang Amat Berbahagia Tun Raus bin Sharif, the former Chief Judges of Malaya and the former Chief Judge of Sabah and Sarawak, the Honourable Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tan Sri Dato' Dr. Johari bin Abdul, the Honourable Attorney General of Malaysia, the State Attorney General of Sabah, and the State Attorney General of Sarawak, the Honourable Judges of the Federal Court, the Court of Appeal, and the High Court and Judicial Commissioners, members of the Judicial Appointments Commission, Chief Registrar of the Federal Court, the Secretary of the Judicial Appointments Commission, the President of the Malaysian Bar, and the President of Sabah Law Society, Your Excellencies, the Honourable Chief Justices and distinguished members of the judiciary from abroad, fellow learned friends, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is both an honor and a privilege for me, on behalf of the Advocates Association of Sarawak, to speak on this significant occasion, the ceremony to honor the appointment of the Right Honourable Chief Justice of Malaysia. Let me begin by extending our heartfelt congratulations to Yang Arif on your Lordship's appointment. This appointment is not only the pinnacle of judicial service, but also the culmination of a dedication and a commitment to the rule of law. The Advocates Association of Sarawak welcomes your Lordship's appointment with great optimism and confidence. We are especially honoured that Sarawak has been chosen as the first destination of your Lordship's working visit itinerary together with the top 4. It is our view this visit is not just ceremonial, it is deeply symbolic. It affirms Sarawak's rightful place in the constitutional framework of Malaysia and sends a powerful message that justice must be seen, must be felt, and must be accessible in every part of the Federation. For this, my Lord, we offer our sincere appreciation. It is a gesture of unity and inclusion that we in Sarawak will not forget. The office of the Chief Justice is far more than administrative or ceremonial. It is the moral compass and institutional anchor of our judiciary. In a constitutional democracy like ours, the Chief Justice plays a central role not only in shaping legal doctrine, but also in upholding public confidence in the courts. The judiciary is, after all, the final sanctuary for those seeking fairness, accountability, and protection under the law. As Chief Justice, your Lordship is the leader of the bench and also plays a role in the living embodiment of judicial independence, integrity, and impartiality. The Advocates Association of Sarawak believes that the Chief Justice plays a vital role in defending this independence, not only through leadership from the bench, but also strengthening public trust in the judiciary. As the legal community, we stand shoulder to shoulder in protecting this independence from all threats, subtle or overt, internal or external, because once compromised, the rule of law begins to falter. It is often said, and very rightly so, that justice must not only be done, but must also be seen to be done. Judicial independence is the cornerstone of public trust. It is what empowers our courts to decide without fear or favor, to uphold the Constitution resolutely, and to stand firm against any overreach by other branches of the government. The Advocates Association of Sarawak believes that the role of Chief Justice is central to protecting this independence, and this is by safeguarding the freedom of judges to decide freely, by upholding the dignity of the courts, and by defending the institutional integrity of the judiciary. While independence is the soul of justice, access is its heartbeat. For justice to be real, it must not only be principled, it must also be reachable. In Sarawak, challenges to the access not only legal or procedural, but also geographical, infrastructural, and economical. This should not come as a surprise because Sarawak land size is almost as big as the whole of the west of Malaysia. Our rural communities face unique difficulties, and our legal profession continues to advocate for expanded circuit courts, improved legal aid, and more efficient digital infrastructure, including the use of online platforms, which also include the appointment of judges and officers to fill our ready courts. We have an opportunity here to send a clear and powerful message that access to justice must not be limited to urban centers, but must extend to every kampong, longhouse, and remote communities across Malaysia. Let this moment mark a renewed national commitment that no citizen shall be left behind in the pursuit of justice. Our judiciary is more than a forum for resolving disputes. It is the engine of our legal evolution. Through its decisions, the apex courts interprets the Constitution, defines national values, and shape the boundaries of rights and powers. It brings clarity to ambiguity and delivers justice amid complexity. In the years ahead, Your Lordship, you will lead the court in deciding matters that will shape the very character of our nation. The Advocates Association of Sarawak pledges our support for a jurisprudence that is principled, progressive, and deeply rooted in the ideals of justice. We also wish to record our deep appreciation for the presence of the Chief Judge of Malaya and the Chief Judge of Sabah and Sarawak in the proceedings today. Each of our leadership bears a solemn responsibility, not just to decide cases, but to lead your respective jurisdiction with vision and wisdom. Your collective presence here reaffirms the national character of our judiciary, one that embraces the equal status and shared importance of Sabah and Sarawak in the judicial framework of Malaysia. In closing, my lord and ladies, today we celebrate more than a new appointment. We mark the beginning of a new chapter for the Malaysian judiciary. It is a time to reaffirm the values that unite us: independence, accessibility, justice, and national unity in our legal traditions. The Advocates Association of Sarawak stands ready to work alongside the bench to uphold these ideals. We offer our full support to Your Lordship and to the judiciary's new leadership, where we remain unwavering in our commitment to ensure that the light of justice shines equally on every Malaysian, no matter where they stand. My lord and my ladies, I'm very much obliged. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gurveer Singh. May I now have the honor of inviting the Honourable, the Attorney General of Malaysia, Tan Sri Muhammad Dusuki bin Mokhtar, to deliver his speech.
If I may, my lords, my ladies, Yang Ma'arif, the Right Honourable Chief Justice, Yang Ma'arif, the Right Honourable, the Chief Judge of Malaya, Yang Ma'arif, the Right Honourable, the Chief Judge of Sabah and Sarawak, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, salam Malaysia Madani, and a very good afternoon. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, all praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has granted us his greatest blessing. May peace and blessing be upon the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his family and his companions. May it pleases your lordship. It is truly an honor and privilege for me as the Attorney General of Malaysia to witness this ceremony honoring your lordship's appointment as the 17th Chief Justice of Malaysia. Today, we gather to celebrate the profound trust and to honor your lordship, who through years of exemplary service, unwavering dedication, and steadfast commitment to justice has risen to this esteemed position. Your lordship not only presides over the federal court, but also provides visionary leadership to the entire judiciary, ensuring it remains an impartial, independent, and credible institution in the eyes of all. This ceremony is more than a formal occasion. It is a celebration of the principles that bind the diverse people of Malaysia together: justice, fairness, equality before the law, and the aspiration towards a society where every individual can live with dignity and assurance. It is a reflection of the trust placed in our judicial system and a reaffirmation of collective responsibility to uphold these principles. As we welcome your Lordship as our new Chief Justice, let us also renew our pledge to support and uphold the independence of the judiciary, ensuring that justice is served fairly and transparently for all. I wish to extend my heartfelt congratulations to your Lordship on this esteemed appointment. May your Lordship's tenure be marked by wisdom, fairness, and unwavering commitment to the pursuit of justice. We look forward to your Lordship's leadership in steering the judiciary towards greater heights and reinforcing the trust and confidence of the people in our judicial system. In our constitutional democracy, the role of judiciary is vital in safeguarding the Constitution, protecting fundamental rights, and maintaining the harmony as well as the stability of our nation. The rule of law is embedded in the provisions of the Federal Constitution. It is a breathing principle that upholds equality before the law and the right to access the courts and be heard by independent judges under a fair process. The rule of law also seeks the government of the day to respect the law, and no one is above the law. The former Lord President, His Royal Highness Sultan Azlan Shah, interpreted the rule of law as follows. The rule of law means literally what it says. The rule of the law. Taken in its broadest sense, this means that people should obey the law and be ruled by it. But in political and legal theory, it has come to be read in a narrow sense, that the government shall be ruled by law, by the law, and be subject to it. The ideal of the rule of law in this sense is often expressed by the phrase government by law and not by men. Our society is distinguished by its unique multiracial composition and rich diversity. Diverse public interests may lead to conflicting priorities. In such circumstances, the rule of law becomes essential in guiding conduct and maintaining harmony. Hence, judicial independence is a critical component of that rule. The judiciary plays a crucial role in ensuring that the executive and the legislative branches operate within their constitutional limits, thereby maintaining a system of checks and balance. This role is integral to the doctrine of separation of powers, which serve to prevent the concentration of authority within a single branch of government. The decision by your Lordship to recuse yourself from hearing Datuk Sri Najib's application to allow a Queen's Counsel to represent the former Prime Minister in his appeal against his conviction in the SRC International Sam Berhad case marks a significant moment in affirming the independence of the judiciary in our country. We will not soon forget your Lordship's powerful and principled words, and I quote, "The public perception of the independence of judiciary should not be put in doubt. It is not a matter of trial and error." And further, an independent judiciary is a precious gift to any society. Once it is lost, anarchy reigns. These words resonate deeply. And more importantly, this reflects a conscientious step taken to uphold judicial integrity and public confidence. It serves as a clear reminder to us all that justice must not only be done, but it must be seen to be done. My Lord, we live in a time where the demands on the justice system are evolving rapidly. The judiciary today does not operate in isolation. They operated within a dynamic legal environment influenced by global trends, technological advancements, and increasing public expectation. In this context, the judiciary must preserve the enduring principles of legal tradition while embracing innovation and reform where necessary. The relationship between the judiciary and the Attorney General's Chambers, AGC, is one of mutual respect and shared responsibility. While we serve in different capacities within the legal system, we are united by a common purpose, that is to uphold the law and serve the nation. The AGC has actively participated in judicial reforms aimed at enhancing judicial independence and improving efficiency, but both crucial for sustaining public trust in the judiciary. The AGC plays an integral part in the administration of justice. We are the officers of the court, not to secure conviction, but to ensure that the rule of law is upheld, thereby contributing to the smooth functioning of the criminal justice system. The AGC also defends the judiciary against unwarranted attacks and ensures the integrity of judicial processes, as demonstrated in cases where AGC acts to preserve judicial independence and uphold the administration of justice. Let me solemnly affirm that the AGC is fully committed to preserving, protecting, and defending our legal system. This dedication is demonstrated through commitments, including supporting law reform initiatives that streamline litigation and promote fairness, as well as upholding the highest ethical standards in all related legal matters. The AGC looks forward to working closely with the judiciary under your leadership, your lordship leadership, to ensure that justice is administered in a manner that is both accessible and equitable. We are committed to collaborating constructively to improve judicial procedures and foster a litigation environment where expediency never compromises integrity and accountability is embedded in every decision. The entire force of the legal service stands to support your lordship in administering the law with integrity and compassion. My lord, allow me to conclude by quoting a verse from the Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 8 of the Holy Quran. O believers, stand firm for Allah and bear true testimony. Do not let the hatred of our people lead you to injustice. Be just, that is closer to righteousness, and be mindful of Allah. Surely Allah is all aware of what you do. On behalf of all gathered here, my lord, I extend our utmost sincere congratulations to your lordship. May you be continually guided by wisdom, fairness, and unwavering fortitude. May this appointment usher in a new chapter, one that strengthens our collective commitment to uphold the supremacy of the Constitution, preserve the dignity of our courts, and fulfill the enduring promise of justice for everyone. Much obliged, my lord, my ladies.
Thank you, Tan Sri. I now have the pleasure to invite the Right Honourable, the Chief Judge of Malaya, Tan Sri Hasnah binti Dato' Muhammad Hashim, to deliver her speech.
The Right Honourable, the Chief Justice of Malaysia, Datuk Wan Ahmad Farid bin Wan Salleh, the 12th Chief Justice of Malaysia, Yang Amat Berbahagia Tun Zaki Tun Nazmi, the 14th Chief Justice of Malaysia, Yang Amat Berbahagia Tun Raus bin Sharif, the Honourable Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tan Sri Datuk Dr. Johari bin Abdul, the Right Honourable Chief Judge of Sabah and Sarawak, Datuk Hajah Azizah binti Haji Nawawi, the Honourable Attorney General of Malaysia, Tan Sri Muhammad Dasuki bin Mokhtar, the Right Honourable Chief Syariah Judge, Datuk Haji Muhammad Amran bin Haji Muhammad Zain, the Honourable Chief Justices and distinguished members of the judiciary from other jurisdictions who are joining us virtually today, the Honourable Acting Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Brunei Darussalam, Justice Haji Abdullah Sofiri Haji Abidin, the Honourable Judicial Commissioner of the Supreme Court, Brunei Darussalam, Justice Muhammad Faisal bin Haji Kefli, the Honourable Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the Republic of Indonesia, Professor Dr. Sunarto, the Honourable Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the Union of Myanmar, Justice U Ta Te, the Honourable Deputy President of the Supreme Judiciary Council and President of the Court of Cassation of the State of Qatar, Justice Ahmad Al-Said Al-Mansuri, the Honourable President of the Constitutional Court of Turkey, Mr. Kadir Ozkaya, His Excellency, High Commissioner of the Republic of Singapore, Mr. Vanu Gopala Menon, His Excellency, Ambassador Extraordinaire and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Indonesia, Dato' Indra Harmono, His Excellency High Commissioner of Brunei Darussalam, Datuk Mahmud Sadin, Her Excellency Ambassador Extraordinaire and Plenipotentiary of Thailand, Madame Lada Pumas, His Excellency Ambassador of the United States of America, Mr. Eggert Kagan, His Excellency British High Commissioner, Mr. Ajay Sharma, representatives of the embassies of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Turkey, the Solicitor General of Malaysia, Yang Berbahagia Datuk Suzana binti Atan, the Honourable State Attorney General of Sarawak, Yang Berbahagia Datuk Sri Safiri bin Ali, the Honourable State Attorney General of Sabah, Yang Berbahagia Datuk Brandon So, the 10th President of the Court of Appeal, Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Sri AHMAD bin Haji Ma'ruf, the former President of the Court of Appeal, Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Rohana binti Yusof, former Chief Judge of Malaya, Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Muhammad Zabidin Muhammad Dia, former Chief Judge of Sabah and Sarawak, Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Abdul Rahman bin Sebli, the Honourable Judges of the Federal Court, the Court of Appeal and the High Court, members of the Judicial Appointments Commission, Yang Berbahagia Datuk Sri Talat Mahmud bin Abdul Rashid, and Yang Berusaha, Professor Madya Dr. Hatini binti Sarifan, the President of the Malaysian Bar, Datuk Muhammad Azri bin Abdul Wahab, the President of the Sabah Law Society, Datuk Muhammad Nazim Madwarin, the President of the Advocate Association of Sarawak, Tuan Govil Singh Sadhu, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. Today marks a historic and momentous occasion in the evolution of our nation's judiciary. We gather here to celebrate a significant milestone, the appointment of the Right Honourable Datuk Wan Ahmad Farid Wan Saleh as the 17th Chief Justice of Malaysia. This assembly of key stakeholders in our justice system is a powerful reminder of our shared commitment to uphold the rule of law, ensure justice, and protect the integrity of our justice system. The appointment of the Right Honourable Datuk Wan Ahmad Farid Wan Saleh as the Chief Justice of Malaysia heralds a new chapter filled with promise, leadership, and dedication to serving our nation with unwavering impartiality and fairness. It gives me great pleasure to be given the honour to reflect on the journey that has brought His Lordship to this distinguished appointment. This moment is not only a celebration of personal achievement, but also a testament to years of dedication, professional excellence, and unyielding commitment to justice. His Lordship's path to the bench has been marked by integrity, intellectual rigour, and a strong belief in the rule of law, qualities that have earned the respect and admiration of colleagues, peers, and the legal community. The Right Honourable Datuk Wan Ahmad Farid was born on the 13th of November 1962 in Kuala Terengganu. His Lordship's academic journey began with a law degree from the University of West London in 1985, followed by the Certificate of Legal Practice from the University of Malaya in 1986. His Lordship then embarked on his illustrious legal career as a practicing advocate and solicitor at Mesir Adnan & Nui in Kuala Terengganu in 1987. From humble beginnings, His Lordship's dedication propelled him through various esteemed positions, culminating in his appointment as the Chief Justice of Malaysia. In 2003, His Lordship transitioned from legal practice to public service, serving as the Political Secretary to the then Prime Minister, Tun Abdullah Badawi. He was then appointed as the Deputy Minister of Home Affairs in 2008, a position he held until 2009. After his tenure in public service, he resumed his legal career at Mesir Wan Farid and Surin in Kuala Lumpur, where he practiced law from 2011 to 2015. His Lordship joined the bench in 2015 as a Judicial Commissioner. He first served at the Civil Division of the High Court in Shah Alam from 16 December 2015 until 30th April 2017. He was then transferred to the Civil Division of the High Court in Kuala Lumpur, serving from the 1st of May 2017 to 30th November 2018. From 1st December 2018, he served as a Judicial Commissioner at the High Court in Kota Baru, Kelantan until 7th of August 2019. His Lordship was confirmed as a High Court judge on the 8th of August 2019. He remained at the High Court in Kota Baru until the 4th of April 2021 before being posted to the Special Powers Division of the High Court in Shah Alam from 5th April 2021 to 28 November 2021. He later served at the Special Powers Division of the High Court in Kuala Lumpur from 29 November 2021 until 11 November 2024. On 12 November 2024, the Right Honourable Datuk Wan Ahmad Farid was elevated to the Court of Appeal before appointed as the 17th Chief Justice of Malaysia on the 28th of July 2025. On a much more personal note, Datuk Wan Ahmad Farid is married to Tok Puan Intan Baizura binti Abdul Wahab. They are blessed with 6 daughters, 1 Shafika Iriani, 1 Anis Majida, 1 Shazana Fasiha, 1 Dina Mashita, 1 Norin Sofia, and 1 Kairin Duniana. The appointment of a new Chief Justice marks the beginning of the 17th chapter in the story of Malaysia judiciary, a chapter guided by the Chief Justice's convictions and judicial philosophies. A written judgment often serves as a true test of a judge's qualities as it reveals their interpretation of the law, application of precedents, and ability to balance competing arguments and facts. Having read several reported judgments by the Right Honourable Datuk Wan Ahmad Farid, I am confident in affirming that His Lordship embodies the qualities of an outstanding jurist. I would particularly like to highlight 2 key qualities. First, his strong dedication to upholding judicial independence, and second, his unwavering commitment to the rule of law and the protection of fundamental rights. The sacred principle enshrined within our Constitution and the unwavering dedication to judicial independence it safeguards find their truest reflection in the character and leadership of our newly appointed Chief Justice. In 2022, His Lordship recused himself from hearing a high-profile matter concerning the admission of a Queen Counsel, now King Counsel, Jonathan Laidlaw, in a case involving a very prominent political figure. His Lordship made several significant statements on the importance of public confidence in the judiciary, and I quote, "The public perception of the independence of the judiciary should not put in doubt. It is not a matter of trial and error," close quote. His Lordship reminded us that an independent judiciary is a precious gift which must be defended at all costs. Once it is lost, anarchy will reign. These judicial remarks signify a deep appreciation for the vital responsibility entrusted to an independent judiciary in safeguarding the rule of law. That said, I have every confidence that under the steadfast stewardship of the Right Honourable Datuk Wan Ahmad Farid, the judiciary will remain unwavering in its commitment to uncompromising independence and unimpeachable integrity, principles that are not merely aspirational, but the very cornerstone of our constitutional mandate. In paying tribute to our new Chief Justice, I must highlight His Lordship written judgment. His Lordship written judgment stands as enduring testament to his uncompromising commitment to the rule of law and the inviolable protection of fundamental liberties. The landmark decision in Kerajaan Malaysia and Kerajaan Negeri Kelantan and others, delivered during his tenure as Judicial Commissioner, exemplified this dedication. The case centered on a constitutional clash between the federal government and the Kelantan state government, arising from logging and plantation licenses issued without consultation or consent of the Termia Orang Asli community. This action, which threatened ancestral lands and livelihoods, starkly disregarded the constitutional safeguards designed to protect Malaysia's indigenous people. The federal government, invoking its constitutional duty under Article 85C and Item 16 of the 9th Schedule, asserted its obligation to defend the Orang Asli's land right. His Lordship resoundingly affirmed this duty, ruling that the federal government not only possessed the right to challenge unconstitutional state action, but bore an unequivocal responsibility to shield marginalized communities from arbitrary deprivation of their liberties. Clarity in judicial reasoning is not merely a matter of style. It is a solemn responsibility to render the law intelligible to both the legal fraternity and the public. His Lordship judgment achieved this with exemplary clarity, methodically affirming that indigenous community hold inalienable propriety rights in their traditional land. This right, rooted in Aboriginal title, cannot be extinguished without just compensation or adherence to due process. In a prescient opening to the judgment, His Lordship underscored the case's historic weight, and I quote, "This is going to be a landmark case. So I was told in the course of the submission." Close quote. Time has proven this observation correct. This decision holds profound significance for Malaysian jurisprudence. First, it entrenches the federal government's constitutional role as guardian of indigenous rights. Second, it reaffirms the judiciary's duty to intervene when state action threatens rights enshrined in the federal constitution. Where marginalized communities face systemic injustice, the court must act as custodians of their dignity and freedom. The Kerajaan Malaysia and Kelantan judgment stands as an early beacon of His Lordship judicial philosophy, rigorous legal reasoning anchored in unwavering fidelity to the constitutional principle. Even at the dawn of his judicial career, His Lordship demonstrated that the rule of law is not an abstraction. It is the bedrock of our democracy, demanding vigilance in protecting the weakest among us. A career in the judiciary is about so much more just than knowing the law. It's a profound calling that demands steadfast moral courage. To step into the role of a judge is to take on the immense responsibility of making decisions with humility, openness, and an unwavering dedication to justice. His Lordship's remarkable career is a shining example of this commitment. Throughout his time on the bench, he has upheld the highest standard, treating the law not as a rigid set of rules, but as a dynamic tool for fairness and equity. His ruling, rooted in deep legal expertise and a strong moral compass, are lasting reminders of the integrity and honor that define this noble profession. On behalf of my learned brothers and sisters on the bench, I extend our warmest congratulations once again to His Lordship. May your tenure as the Chief Justice of Malaysia be guided by wisdom, resilience, and fairness, and may your leadership strengthen the independence and public trust in our cherished judiciary. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Ladyship. Honourable Chief Justices, Honourable Judges, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is now with great honour that I invite the Right Honourable Chief Justice of Malaysia, Dato' Wan Ahmad Farid bin Wan Saleh, to deliver his speech.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Yang amat berbahagia mantan Ketua Hakiman Negara yang ke-12 Tun Zaki bin Azmi, yang amat berbahagia Ketua Hakiman Negara yang ke-14 Tun Raus bin Sharif, yang berhormat Yang di-Pertua Dewan Rakyat Tan Sri Datuk Dr. Johari bin Abdul, Yang Amat Arif Hakim Besar Malaya Tan Sri Hasnah binti Datuk Muhammad Hashim, Yang Amat Arif Hakim Besar Sabah dan Sarawak Datuk Hajah Azizah binti Haji Nawawi, yang berbahagia Peguam Negara Malaysia Tan Sri Muhammad Dusuki bin Mokhtar, Yang Amat Arif Ketua Hakim Syar'i Datuk Haji Muhammad Amran bin Haji Mat Zain, The Honourable Acting Chief Justice of the Supreme Court Brunei Darussalam, Justice Haji Abdullah Sofri bin Haji Abidin, The Honourable Judicial Commissioner of the Supreme Court Brunei Darussalam, Justice Muhammad Faisal bin Haji Kefli, The Honourable Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the Republic of Indonesia, Professor Dr. Sunarto, the Honourable Deputy President of the Supreme Judiciary Council and President of the Court of Secession of the State of Qatar, Justice Ahmad As-Sayyid Al-Mansouri, the Honourable President of the Constitutional Court of Turkey, Mr. Kadir Ozakaya, the Honourable Chief Justice of the Union of Myanmar, U Ta Te, His Excellency High Commissioner of the Republic of Singapore, Mr. Vanu Gopala Menon, His Excellency Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Indonesia, Datuk Indra Harmono, His Excellency High Commissioner of Brunei Darussalam, Datuk Mahmud Saidin, Her Excellency Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Thailand, Madam Lada Pumas, His Excellency Ambassador of the United States of America, Mr. Eggert K.D. Kagan, His Excellency British High Commissioner, Mr. Ajay Sharma, Wakil-Wakil Kedutaan Arab Saudi, Qatar dan Turki, yang berbahagia Pengacara Negara Datuk Suzana binti Atan, yang berbahagia Peguam Besar Negeri Sarawak Datuk Seri Safri bin Ali, yang berbahagia Peguam Besar Negeri Sabah Datuk Brandon Keith Soh, yang berbahagia mantan Presiden Mahkamah Rayuan yang ke-10 Tan Sri Datuk Seri Ahmad bin Haji Ma'aruf dan Puan Sri Zainun, yang berbahagia Presiden Mahkamah Rayuan yang ke-11 Tan Sri Rohana binti Yusof, yang berbahagia mantan Hakim Besar Malaya Tan Sri Datuk Muhammad Zabidin bin Muhammad Diah, yang berbahagia mantan Hakim Besar Sabah Sarawak Tan Sri Abdul Rahman bin Sebli, yang arif Hakim-Hakim Mahkamah Persekutuan, Hakim-Hakim Mahkamah Rayuan, Hakim-Hakim Mahkamah Tinggi, yang berbahagia Ahli Suruhanjaya Pelantikan Kehakiman Datuk Seri Talat Mahmud bin Abdul Rashid, dan yang berusaha Profesor Madya Dr. Hartini binti Saripan, yang berbahagia Presiden Majlis Peguam Malaysia Datuk Muhammad Ezri bin Abdul Wahab, yang berbahagia Presiden Pertubuhan Undang-Undang Sabah Datuk Muhammad Nazim Madwarin, yang berusaha Presiden Advocate Association of Sarawak Tuan Gurvir Singh Sandu, yang berbahagia Datuk Zamri bin Bakar, Ketua Pendaftar Mahkamah Persekutuan, Div kehormat, hadirin dan hadirat sekalian. Marilah kita bersama-sama menzahirkan kesyukuran kepada Allah Subhanahu wa taala kerana dengan izinnya dapat kita bersama-sama hadir pada majlis meraihkan pelantikan saya sebagai Ketua Hakim Negara pada petang ini. Di majlis ini saya ingin merakamkan setinggi-tinggi junjung kasih kepada Kebawah Duli Yang Maha Mulia Seri Paduka Baginda Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Ibrahim atas perkenan baginda melantik saya sebagai Ketua Hakim Negara yang ke-17 atas nasihat yang amat berhormat Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim Perdana Menteri Malaysia setelah berunding dengan Majlis Raja-Raja. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank all the distinguished guests, my brother and sister judges and former judges for making the time to be here this afternoon. I'm deeply moved by your presence, although one could say that it is an understatement. Overwhelmed would be nearer to the mark. Let me also thank my learned sister, Yang Amat Arif Tan Sri Hasnah binti Datuk Muhammad Hashim, Chief Judge of Malaya, for your ladyship's incredibly generous words. Looking at the body language of my wife in the gallery, she may be forgiven if she thought that your ladyship was describing a different person altogether. I also thank Tan Sri Attorney, President of the Malaysian Bar, President of the Advocate Association of Sarawak, and President of the Sabah Law Society for your kind and generous words. I'm particularly grateful for the pledges of support that you have extended. Ladies and gentlemen, the poet and civil rights activist Mary Angelou said, and I quote, "I have great respect for the past. If you don't know where you have come from, you don't know where you are going," unquote. For the Malaysian judiciary, this means recognizing and appreciating, and most importantly, learning from the events that shaped the judiciary in the past, including the judicial crisis of 1988 and incidents that led to the establishment of the 2007 Royal Commission of Inquiry. Only then we will be able to chart a meaningful future for ourselves. Gleaning insights from the past, three important players within the legal system, namely the AGC, the Malaysian Bar and its counterparts in Sabah and Sarawak, and most importantly, leadership within the judiciary itself have equally important roles in contributing to the judicial integrity in Malaysia. The AGC must at all times ensure that the delicate balance between its prosecutorial powers and its role as the advisor of the government of the day can be struck. I trust that the AGC will continue to act with impartiality and integrity in upholding the rule of law and ultimately in safeguarding judicial independence in Malaysia. Next, the Malaysian Bar. The Malaysian Bar is a statutory creation, and by virtue of Section 42(1)(a) of the Legal Professions Act 1976, one of its purposes is to uphold the cause of justice without regard to its own interests or that of its members, uninfluenced by fear or favor. I'm proud to have been associated with the Malaysian Bar in the early days of my legal practice. I was the secretary of the Terengganu Bar Committee in the height of the judicial crisis in 1988, and my car was one of the few in the whole state of Terengganu with a sticker captioned, "Tabik hormat untuk 5 orang hakim." I take note that some members of the bar are very fond of walking. While walking is certainly good for your health, my unsolicited view is please do it sparingly. While we are on the topic of walking, I'm happy to say that I've participated in the KL Bar Run for the past 2 years. While I'm not particularly proud of my running record, I endeavor to improve it at the next year's event with more participation from the bench. Events such as these should be encouraged as they strengthen the relationship between bench and the bar. After all, it is easier for us to reach out to each other and speak on matters of importance once we have interacted while wearing our t-shirts and sweatpants. The judiciary will continue working alongside with the bar and the AGC in upholding justice. In my working visits to the states in the next few months, I will continue my engagement with these stakeholders. I'm particularly excited to meet the young lawyers committees of the state bars. I say so because I'm committed to see the improvement of the standards of advocacy among the young lawyers in our courts. Continuing legal education has always had a special place in my heart, having taught at the law schools in UITM and University Sultan Zainal Abidin, UNIZA. Finally, the most important player at the forefront of judicial independence is obvious. It is the leadership within the judiciary itself. For this, I'm grateful for the path set by Chief Justices before myself, and particularly so the Chief Justices who have led the Malaysian judiciary these past 15 years. These leaders of the judiciary have collectively made great strides, putting in place institutional and procedural reforms, improving the efficiency of the judiciary, enhancing access to justice, and placing emphasis on the need for a transparent and independent judiciary. My predecessors have led with utmost integrity, and now the baton has been passed at most pivotal time with the country watching closely. I stand on the shoulders of giants, and I can only pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will guide me in the same way He has guided them. Ladies and gentlemen, I would also like to spend a few minutes to express my profound gratitude to those who have shaped my legal past. By an accident of history, my legal and judicial career is shaped by two Wan Adnans. The first one is the late Tan Sri Wan Adnan bin Ismail, with whom I did my pupillage in 1986 in Kuala Terengganu. Tan Sri Wan Adnan, as we all know, was later appointed as the President of the Court of Appeal. I can still vividly recall his advice to me on my first day of chambering. He said, and I quote, "As a lawyer, you must love the law, be passionate about it, and embrace it. Be honest, since there is no room for intellectual dishonesty in the course of upholding the interests of your client," unquote. The second is Dr. Wan Adnan bin Muhammad, my first cousin, who is a former Court of Appeal judge. I'm happy to note that he's here today. When I informed him of my impending elevation as the Judicial Commissioner almost 10 years ago, his advice to me was very simple. He said that whenever I make a decision, I must remember that the choices I will make will echo beyond the confines of my chambers. In the end, we are ultimately answerable to our Creator. It is with this guidance that I continue my judicial path. With this, let me reiterate my commitment to uphold the independence of judiciary and let it be known that it must be protected at all costs, lest the very fabric of a just society be severely undermined. When all avenues of recourse are closed, the rakyat and even the government will look to the courts for an impartial resolution of their disputes. To my brother and sister judges, let us not fail them. Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow brother and sister judges, whether you are at the federal court, whether you are a federal court judge, a court of appeal judge, a high court judge, or a judicial commissioner, I would like to stress that we are all equals, ranked pari passu. I'm what the English lawyers would refer to as the primus inter pares, the first amongst equals. I'm sitting in this chair not because I'm the best. Far from it. I was not born great, nor have I achieved greatness. Instead, what I have is simply the responsibility of leadership entrusted to me. Leadership is about taklif, which reflects a heavy trust or amana and serious accountability. It is not about tashrif or privilege. While it is indeed an honor to serve as judges, let us not forget, even for a moment, that the immense duties and accountability that come with it. This is an amana which we have to hold steadfastly in the discharge of our judicial duty. As a judge, it is impossible to please everyone. In every decision we give, at least one party will not be satisfied with our decision. This is only to be expected. But in our system, there are avenues for an aggrieved party to take the next course of action. Whatever our decision is, lest we forget, we must ensure that the losing party walks out of our courtrooms feeling satisfied that he was given the right to be heard, to present his evidence and be given his day. Do not shut them out. Ladies and gentlemen, in this agenda of reform, I would like to see a judiciary that consistently improves the delivery system. In 2011, the World Bank made a recommendation for countries facing judicial backlog to take note and study the reforms that Malaysia made. In short, we were the trendsetter and became an example for the world. As they say, justice delayed is justice denied. I'm aware of litigants who come to the court seeking justice, but are dissatisfied that it takes years for the matter to be resolved. To them, let me say this: I hear you. Together with my brother and sister judges, we will work together to resolve the backlog of cases throughout the country. To this end, I'm happy to inform you that we are working with the government on increasing the number of courtrooms and appointing additional judicial commissioners. In order to reduce the backlog of cases drastically, the judiciary will assign circuit judges and judicial commissioners in various stations to hear aging cases and dispose them within a specified period. We hope that this would ease the burden of existing judges and judicial commissioners who can then concentrate on existing cases. To further expand public access to justice, the judiciary has introduced mobile courts, bringing legal services directly to remote communities, particularly in Sabah and Sarawak. These mobile units, equipped as courtrooms, along with a team led by a magistrate, handle matters such as birth registrations, minor offences, and legal documentation on the ground. I'm pleased to inform that we are planning to introduce the same service to the Peninsula of Malaysia. Further, there is also a need to form more specialized divisions and subdivisions of the High Court, especially at the Kuala Lumpur Court Complex. We will explore this in order to expose our judges to more complex areas of the law and therefore enhance their expertise in these areas. There is also the need to continually enhance the standards of the commercial division of the High Court in Kuala Lumpur to maintain the confidence of investors whose disputes will be heard there. Circuit sittings of the Federal Court and the Court of Appeal across Peninsular Malaysia will also be revived. This move will allow greater access to proceedings of the Apex Court to both litigants and lawyers outside the Klang Valley. Finally, there is a more urgent need than ever for judges to embrace fast-paced technological developments, which is the epicenter of the human experience today. COVID-19 has accelerated the use of technology in businesses, in our daily lives, and consequently in courts around the world. The adoption of technology in our courts will continue as it enhances the efficiency of the court system and allows better access to justice. The judiciary will closely follow technological developments and, in particular, the impact of the evolution of artificial intelligence. We will ensure that our judges are sufficiently equipped not only to use technology in courts, but also to manage issues relating to technology. I'm not going to promise any miracles, But these are the reforms that the judiciary will immediately take to improve our delivery system. Let us be a towering example on the world stage. Ladies and gentlemen, one final word. One of the most influential contributors to the principle that power must not be concentrated in one person or institution, but rather divided among different branches of government to prevent tyranny and protect liberty, was the French philosopher Montesquieu. In L'Esprit de Loi, the spirit of the laws, he wrote, and I quote, "There is no liberty if the judiciary power be not separated from the legislative and executive," unquote. I have had a long and varied career. I have served in all three branches of the government. I cannot erase my history, political or otherwise. But as I assume this most solemn amanah, and for as long as I occupy this chair, I give you my unconditional pledge in the name of my Creator, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, that I will vigorously protect and relentlessly safeguard the independence of our branch of government with every fiber of my being. And now let us look forward to the future of our judiciary, one that is independent, resilient, efficient, learned, and future-proof. Let us do this for our beloved country. To my fellow brothers and sister judges, to the judicial officers throughout the country, to Tan Sri Attorney and his able officers in the AGC, the Malaysian Bar, the Sabah Law Society, the Advocates of Association of Sarawak, and other stakeholders, let us chart this future together by working with me. I pledge to do my level best towards the betterment of the Malaysian judiciary and its independence. That there be a strong message of the independence of judiciary, which shall continue to be loud and clear, echoing not just through the halls of the Palace of Justice and other courthouses, but also through all corners of our society and all the corridors of power in our country. Thank you very much. Persidangan ini ditangguhkan.
Thank you, Your Lordship. Honourable Chief Justices, Honourable Judges, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the proceedings have now officially come to a close. The Malaysian judiciary extends its deepest gratitude to all those in attendance, both physically and virtually, whose collective efforts have contributed significantly to the success of this event. For those present, you are now cordially invited to join us for high tea being served in the lobby. Thank you.